What's up everyone, and welcome to Video Game Book Club. Today I've got another DIY gaming case for you all, only this time we're focusing on the Famicom Disk System games. For those of you that don't know, Famicom Disk System games come in these little jewel cases where the actual disc is kind of concealed inside of it. However, these aren't really that sturdy when you think about it, because if you drop them, then they're kind of shattered, just like a CD case. So that's where our friend, the Nintendo DS case, comes in. Because much like we did with the Virtual Boy cases, the Nintendo DS case can be customized inside of it in order to fit a Famicom Disk System game and its manual fairly easily. Famicom Disk System games did come with a little protective outer shell, but that adds a good $10 to $15 onto the price of just the disc and the manual. So that's almost not worth it when you can order these cases from Nintendo themselves for a pretty decent price. Now you're probably asking, how do we get this inside of this? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Alright, so what you'll need is, of course, Famicom Disk System games, some Nintendo DS game cases, and if you don't have any just laying around, you can always order those directly from Nintendo. Some foam core board, I went with black, you choose whatever color you want. White cardstock or regular printer paper, it doesn't really matter, it's just for a background image that goes behind our foam core board. A box cutter to get the DS slot out. A hot knife, which is just a heated up X-Acto knife but cuts through foam core 10 times better, a cutting board, and some tape or glue to hold everything down. And now this is what a finished Famicom Disk System custom game case looks like. And this is the artwork that I was talking about earlier, that it can be either on cardstock or paper. There's our foam core board. As you can see, I went with black. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. And then on the outside, we have some custom artwork that I've done. There's the spine in English, just so we can read it, and the very back has some screenshots and some logos. So next, what we want to do, obviously, is get this DS case slot out of here. And the best way to do that is you want to pull the cover plastic on the front of the case back, because you want your cutting board to slide in between the hard plastic and that outer clear plastic, because you don't want to cut through the case and then through the plastic thing. So here we go, we're cut out the DS slot, and then once we're all done, we'll just pop it out like this. And then we'll just lay this over to the side because we don't really need that anymore. And then we can take our case out, put the cutting board away, and here's that artwork that I was talking about earlier. And these are little slots. There are two spots inside the DS case that kind of stick down, and they are right, if you can see it, I don't know if you can really see it that well, but they're right there. There's one on the top and there's one on the bottom. So the artwork that is in the description has those cutouts for you, and then we just slide that right in there, and that fits behind the foam core and will display whenever you take your game out. And then here's the foam core that goes over that artwork, and that will actually be what holds your game. And if you can see, like, it is a perfect fit, so your game is nice and snug. So this is our foam core cutout that we're going to use to get the exact measurements, and yeah, everything is in the description below. We're going to use this to get our measurements for our foam core board by tracing that outline onto the foam core. So here we just trace this onto our foam core with the exact measurements, and then we use our hot knife. Be careful with this thing. It is extremely hot, as it melts the foam on the inside of this foam core board. It is real hot. It will burn you. So we just slide through it. It kind of cuts through it just like butter, and we just cut out a square. And if you notice right here, we did not cut out the little notches on the top and the bottom like you see in this one. We will do that later on. You do that after you cut it out. It's a little bit easier, like this right here. We just slice those out, and then it will match pretty much exactly, minus a few spots. There's our notches for the inside of the case. And now we need to get this thing ready to cut the game slot out that will actually be this place that holds our game. And we have a cutout for that also in the description below. Go ahead and grab that and print that out if you haven't done so already. But you'll want to line it up with the edge of the foam core that you just cut out, and you want to do it on the side with the cutouts. Then we just trace it in onto our foam, and you'll notice there's a little something missing right there on the left side, and it's this little finger cutout, this little pop out, I'm going to call it, and to easily help us get our games out. And then we have a little circle available also for you to download. You don't want to put the whole thing, maybe just like the top quarter of it onto the square, and then we'll trace that also. As you can see, it's right there. We don't use the whole thing, but we want to cut out this square first before we do that. So we'll cut this square out here, and we'll leave that little half circle until we get this full square out. So here we are, we'll cut this thing out, and then as you notice, we did not cut that half moon, or not half moon, but half circle out. And now we go back and do that. It's easier to do it when there's a huge gap on one side versus trying to do it all at once. So there it is with our little pop out. Then we just pop our foam core that we just finished up into our case, and this is basically what our final case will look like. It doesn't have a lot of modification going on in it, but this is pretty much what your case is going to look like, unless you want to pop this out and put some glue or some tape on the back side of this and hold it down better. Then you can just slide your game in, see if it fits. The good thing is with the foam, with the cutouts that we have provided for you all, the game will fit just fine. Then you pull out, and with the little pop-out tab there, and you can get the game out fairly easily. And then it fits nice and snug, doesn't wiggle around too much, especially if you have that manual, it's really not going to wiggle. But here's some of the artwork that we created for this. All of it, of course, is in the description below. The trace out for the foam core, the circle for the little pop-out thing, and then, of course, the game cutout, which you could just trace the game, but I don't want you to get pinned all over your game. So that is all you need in order to create your own custom case for the Famicom Disk System. So let's get out of here. And now that you know how to turn these DS cases into custom Famicom Disk System cases, it's time to get out there yourself, take that loose collection, and put them all in some pretty sweet looking cases. And also, don't forget to check thecoverproject.net, where I'll be posting all my custom artwork for these Famicom Disk System cases. And until next time, have fun making your own custom cases, and take care. Well, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Here's 2 more videos just in case you enjoyed what you saw in this one, and if you really enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe, and also click that little bell icon just so you get updated every time we post a new video. And until next time, take care.